Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and on today's episode we're going to be dropping in a new motor on the G35. So if you've never done an engine replacement, I'm going to show you some of the preventive maintenance that I like to do. So let's dive into the project and I'll show you some of the things. Alright, so the first thing I recommend you do is, if you're unfamiliar with the motor that you're going to be doing the engine replacement on, is do a little research, find out some common issues. So like in this engine's instance, this is a VQ35DE. So one of the problems that this engine has is that it leaks from the valve covers. So through research, we figured that out. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the gaskets while the engine is out. It's probably not as big of a deal if we just put it in and then did it, but it's just easier to work around like this. Now's the perfect time to kind of look over the inside of the motor, look at the cam lobes and all that, and make sure there's no scoring. These actually look really good. This is a 70,000 mile motor, so it should look very clean. There's no real staining of oil on the inside. It's still kind of that cast aluminum look. So that's usually what I look for. If I start seeing really dark staining, I start to assume that the engine is much higher in age or mileage, so, and less taken care of too. So all signs look good. All right, so the next thing we need to tackle is the exhaust manifold. This engine, when we got it, didn't have any exhaust manifolds. So we have to transplant them from the old engine to the new engine. And in doing so, we have to replace the gaskets. It's probably recommended to do that anytime you replace the exhaust manifold. I know it doesn't fall under preventative maintenance, but I would say that since the engine is out, you would do this anyways, just because it's easier to do it when the engine is out than it is to do it with the engine inside the car. All right guys, I'm gonna show you guys a trick to get your flywheel slash flex plate bolts off. First, you're gonna put a bolt in here. If this was a clutch, you would actually use the pressure plate bolts that hold it. Then you're gonna lock the wrench into a bell housing bolt, like that. Oh no. Oh God. Fucking yeah. All right, so this was very unfortunate. During the process of taking all these off, this one came loose, and then about 3 or 4 turns, it just got super tight again and then snapped the head of the bolt off. I don't know what to do at this point. I did start trying to drill it, but this is hardened steel, I'm pretty sure, and I don't think I'll be drilling through that anytime soon. But I'm gonna continue on and figure out a new way or something to do with this maybe later. But right now I'm gonna focus on the rear main seal and get that removed. So replacing the rear main seal is by far the most important things I think you need to do when the motor's out. It'll save you so much time and effort later on. All right, so we got the rear main seal in. All right, so typically I would do the front main seal, but because this one's not leaking and the way that the G35 is set up with the front clip being able to be taken off, I don't think it's worth doing right now. So remember we had a flywheel bolt that actually broke off inside. So what I ended up doing is drilling a pilot hole and then drilling a bigger hole and then using a T46 torque bit. That's usually what I use instead of using an easy out, and I hammer this in there and then you back it out. We ended up doing that, and then I had to chase the threads with a tap just to clean them up so that way we don't booger up the threads even farther and then run into more issues trying to run the bolt down. All right, so the next thing we need to tackle is getting a new clutch on here. So there's a few things we got to do because this is was an automatic setup before with a flex plate and all that. So there's some bushings and spacers that we need to remove, so I'll show you guys how to do that. We're using a 2-jaw puller with one side on there, and then we're using a screwdriver to kind of put pressure on the lip in there, and then he's going to slide hammer it off. So if you're not familiar with the VQ35DE, it comes standard with a dual mass flywheel. So we're gonna convert it from the dual mass to a single mass. And reason being is, for one, I think it's gonna be better for drifting. Two, you're not able to actually service the flywheel and get it resurfaced. So regardless, you have to replace it anyway. So I think it's better long term to go to a single mass. It might create some drivability issues.
Like noise?
Yeah, drivability noise, so to speak. So ready to go. Ding. So now we're going to torque to 65 foot-pounds. So insert the clutch alignment tool. All right, so we're gonna torque it down to 30 foot-pounds. All right, for this project we used an XTD clutch. It's a 6-puck sprung clutch with the flywheel combo. It's a pretty affordable kit, that's why we went with it. And in the past, I've had pretty good luck with using cheaper end clutches. So we'll see how this one works out. Get out of the way. Get out of the way, guy.
Hey, yeah, you.
No one is in the mood for your cuteness.
You are not.
All right, so I think it's time to stab the transmission. Pick up your back. Should be good. All right, so we got the transmission bolted up to the engine. As such, we rolled the G35 in. Now we're gonna try to finagle it in there and try to stab the drive line in and get everything to line up, hopefully.
I'll get her in there. Okay. It's in. Just needs to get pushed back.
Maybe what we need is a jack under the engine or the transmission.
Yeah.
And then so that way we can bring the tail shaft up and slide it onto the yoke.
It's flopping around. Just gotta pry it in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're gonna get back on the road?
And we're gonna fix it.
It seems like you should get your own YouTube.
Thanks, Supervisor.
It's,
Want to do smoky burnouts?
yeah.
Alright, let me show you the progress so far. We got the car back down. We've taken care of everything underneath. We've got all the fluids done. Right now, we're popping out all the spark plugs and coil packs and pulling the relay so we can do a compression check, check all the cylinders. because we did just buy this and this is under warranty. So we want to verify the good compression in all the cylinders. So we're gonna run through that real fast. All right, so we did the compression test and the numbers are kind of all over the place. We had 125, 130, we've had 80, so it's all over the place. So I think what's best is we're gonna try to start it up and see if like getting the cylinders warmed up and moving around would yield a better test. Because we don't know the last time this car started, so there might be nothing on the cylinder walls helping us to build compression. Did you put the relay back?
It's in that thing. Alright, here we go. Alright, I'm gonna get a sweet shot of your crack.
Yeah, my butt crack.
Get that OnlyFans video.
So I was trying to tell you, I was like, I think that's the pump making all that
Don't want
noise.
to burn it out.
No. So how do you feel, man?
Oh man, it feels good.
I don't know, it was running really good, so.
Yeah.
Sounded healthy. All right, so I think this was pretty much a success, wouldn't you say? I know, I'm pretty excited. I've never done an engine swap on any of these, so it was a learning experience for me as well as him. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that everything worked out. I'm still gonna do a compression test, but it's running really well, not smoking, so it's almost kind of precautionary, I guess. But I think if there was something wrong with the cylinder or anything like that, or low compression, we would have saw smoke like almost immediately, and there was almost none. So
We'll see once we get it up to temp 2. Once
Yeah.
the radiator's in, we give it a full heat cycle and we'll double check everything.
yeah.
Give it a road test. And we'll really.
I think this new adventure is going to be fun. We can move on to actually the funner stuff now that we, pretty much have a running engine. But all right, guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.